Alright, so I am pretty excited for this episode. I think this episode just has a lot going for it. It's going to be like a Gus-centered episode, which I think is great because we haven't gotten a lot with him pretty much since like Something Ventured, Someone Framed. So that's going to be great. We're going to get like lore on like the first human and going into like the Forbidden Stack section. We're going to get new characters. They had a little featurette promo with them, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're also going to get these two in an episode together. People have been asking where I got these. You can get them from Kyochins or Kyochins. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'll leave it linked in the description. Currently they're sold out, so I don't know when they're gonna be back in production again, or if they will be back in production, but I'll leave them linked so you guys can be on the lookout, because a lot of you guys have been asking where I get them, because I leave them back on my bed. And also, Mystery Shack. Hey, they're selling Amity's library cards. If you want to get your own library card of Amity, you can get that too. But yeah, a lot of stuff to really look forward to. Dana's art that she put out was of Gus, and he has like a bunch of glyphs stuck in like his shirt and everything. So I'm wondering if he's gonna like try and impress the Glandis kids, being like, oh, I can do all this really cool magic without like drawing a spell circle or something like that. Or maybe because like he's in illusions, I don't think he's actually committed to the coven. I know he's in the illusion track, but maybe he can't do other magic. I don't think it's that. I think he's just like gonna try and impress them. But we also know that Mattholomule is gonna be in this episode too. So I'm wondering if Mattholomule went to Glandis, because we know he went to another school, and he's gonna try and impress them, like now that he's at Hexside. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Forbidden Stack section is gonna be awesome with Luz and Amity. I also think that ghost guy thing with the lantern is gonna show up too. But yeah, lots to look forward to. So those are kind of like all my predictions going in. But yeah, with that, let's get into it. Oh,
hey
Gus, buddy,
you okay?
what's up?
I messed up bad, Luz. Willow just needed help with this pixie problem, right?
What-
So I thought,
What happened?
And they attacked Willow.
What's?
I heard.
Oh no!
I moved up 2 grades.
Willow. Oh no. Also, pixies have been a problem lately. They were the problem in really small problems too.
I'm sure you'll both be feeling better tomorrow.
Oh no, Willow. Oh no. That was also a really, really short opening scene. I feel it's just because like the show is just getting so intense now that they just kind of have to move that stuff along. Like we got to get to like the the meat of it. So, oh man, I'm so excited for this episode. Through the Looking Glass Ruins. Hey, Bad Girl Coven. Oh, you have a shirt, Gus? That's so awesome.
Thanks for sending me all those
man.
Twin illusions.
Willow got beat up. Oh no,
Willow,
poor baby.
How you feeling?
Oh, buddy.
You need my library card to visit Amity, don't you?
Yes.
I haven't been doing a good job of hiding that.
Cute.
Research. Come
on.
Oh man, I like that they're being so open with it. That's so cute.
What if it's time for me to explore different kinds of magic?
I'm all
Okay.
for trying new things. But what's wrong with
Yeah, I didn't
illusions?
think he
Illusions are
committed
just
to
so...
a coven yet, but he's gonna use the glyphs. Oh, Marcus, no, my baby boy. Here we go, Gladys kids. That Slither Beast also had to travel so far. Whoa. Oh, man, construction magic, we haven't really seen a lot of it.
Yes,
There's his
Daddy.
dad.
Thank you, mysterious heroes.
I like how Braxis's voice is deeper than his dad's.
Mattholomule?
Mattholomule, I like your outfit.
Off, twerp. They're powerful relics. Many witches and
Yeah,
demons have
this
sought
is where
them.
we're
But
gonna
they've all
come
returned
across the
empty-handed.
statues
Haunted by its
and where that little
guardian.
Until
like
us.
fire monster dragon is.
About them.
Oh my gosh, Luz, you've been holding your breath for so
You're
long.
so fast, but
But I don't actually know any spells besides illusions.
Oh, he's just never learned?
come on,
Oh,
man.
buddy.
The
Looking Glass
Ruins in
Ruins.
Forearm
Yes.
Forest.
Forearm Forest, alright, cool. Getting to
What's
see other
wrong,
parts of the
Augustus?
island.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
So they're doing that in the back at the library.
Did you check out the other volume?
Oh man, the music's so great this season.
Yes.
Okay.
This must be it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, she can hear it gets. Oh, look at her with her hair
Give
done.
it back. I can learn how to summon the Dark Lord.
Oh,
Hey,
oh.
Luz.
Yeah, you too.
Nah, looks like you got that covered.
Oh,
Here you
Oh.
are.
Oh no, they're both gonna be oblivious.
Phillip Wittebane living in Bonesboro.
Okay.
And he donated his diary to this library. My mom probably thinks I'm missing right now. I have to get back to her as soon as possible.
She
Well,
doesn't at
something
all.
this old. I never said I wasn't gonna help.
I figured
My
the
staff
card would
card should be able to open those doors.
be how to get
But
in.
once we're inside,
Also, do they not have like child labor laws? She's like 14.
well, let's not waste any time.
Where's gonna be like the blush counter for this episode? Also, that little thing on the door was the same lantern shape that the ghost had, so we'll probably definitely be seeing them here.
And make my own butterfly sanctuary.
I could create
Get
the
this precious
biggest
boy.
abomination.
Can't enhance what's not actually there.
Matt, why are you being such a jerk? See, this is where he's gonna do
Show us
the
what you got, Augustus.
glyph
What did they
thing.
call
He's
you?
gonna
A super witch?
blast it through the circle.
Which one is this?
Fire.
Fireball!
Okay, good guess. Oh, okay. He's trying to pretend like he actually did it through the circle. Honestly, I think it'd be more impressive if you just did it without a circle.
We're here.
Oh man, this place is cool.
So, maybe it would be less odd if I showed you around someday.
Oh.
But let's turn back. I don't want to push you.
We're getting that diary.
She's like, yes, I wanted to go see where you live for a date, Luz. Yes.
What did they mean by couldn't handle Glandis?
Yeah.
Things work differently at Glandis. Weak students are pushed around by the strong.
It's interesting how different Glandis works from like Hexside, because at least at
you're on
Hexside it doesn't
lookout
seem to
duty.
work that way.
And if I catch you playing with any more bugs, I'll make you eat them. Okay?
And the passive aggressiveness.
I believe in you.
Is she actually not as nice as she seems? Is she actually like terrifying if she gets angry? Whoa. Okay. That's a lot of rocks.
Alith, the Vision Creator? Kari, the Mirage Maker? But
They're all
these titles are for...
illusions?
Oh no, this is an illusionist graveyard.
Gotcha.
Of course it
you're-
is.
Yeah,
These
you're
stones were
robbing a
theirs. We shouldn't
grave.
take them. No, this isn't right.
Okay, good
I
boy,
won't let
Gus.
you steal these.
Yeah, it's that fire dragon monster creature. Cool. Oh, Gus. Oh, buddy. I bet he's gonna find out, though, that, like, him using illusions is gonna fix this problem. No, they're so cute. Oh my god.
Little rat!
Oh, man.
I'm just like super disappointed in you.
Oh.
Like, I can't even process these feelings right now. You're fired?
Oh, no. Baby.
Being around you, it makes me do stupid things, and I wish it didn't.
It's okay.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I
Oh,
do
no.
stupid things around you too, Amity.
Oh, man, this is not how I expected this episode to go. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, man, y'all are just little shitheads, aren't you? Especially you. Is Matt gonna have, like, a little bit of a redemption arc here? And just be like, no, this is wrong.
But then I met some dork who used his powers to save me from a man-eating detention pit. All I'm saying
Yeah,
is...
see?
Thanks, Mattholomule.
There we go.
It's time to teach those jerks a lesson.
Redemption.
agree.
Creative.
Yeah.
I never really liked him anyway. Looks
Oh,
like
man,
Emma's
you're just
taking
a
command
jerk.
path.
But I'm proud of you.
It's just him with a
Now,
mustache.
how about we grab some-
The fact that he falls for it.
Great.
Oh man, this is a really good illusion. Nice. You know, she kind of deserved it. I'm done with this. Good job, Gus. Look at you go.
Maybe I can help.
Yeah, construction. It's close enough. They're stacked back in order. Look at Matt volunteering his time. Finger guns.
I don't know.
That's okay. Oh,
Confusing.
sibling
I'm thinking
time.
things you weren't happy before.
Ed, don't
Yeah,
pick. You'll make it worse.
legit. This is
Too
the
late.
first time that you've been happy in like years. Are we getting the brown-haired Amity? Purple-haired Amity?
I'm sorry about everything. I'd understand if you
Oh,
never want to see
man.
me again.
I thought I could use a change.
Oh,
How'd you get this? That guy was not fun. Oh,
oh
hey
look at
guys.
what she did.
You're the one that ate the diary!
Yeah, that's still an issue.
Play back anything it eats.
Oh,
We dealt with them a lot at work.
Great.
Watch.
Oh, this is convenient.
My journey through the demon realm is far from over. But today, my name is Phillip Wittebane.
Okay.
And I found myself.
Is the door his? Oh my god. Interesting. He also has an accent like Bellows.
You always have a way of sneaking into people's hearts.
Oh. It happened! I wasn't expecting this so soon!
Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I
Oh,
do
she's
that?
so cute. I wasn't expecting this. That happened. I wasn't prepared. That was so cute. It happened. I can't believe it. So Through the Looking Glass Ruins was a highly anticipated episode. Portal lore, Gus as a focus, new characters, and Luz and Amity. So to say this episode already had a lot going for it, it would kind of be an understatement. And now having watched it, we have discovered more about the first human on the Isles, a friendship forming between Gus and Matt, and of course, the Luz and Amity cheek kiss. But before we get into any of that, let's go over our secret messages. From last season, our episode title message was "A Witch Loses a True Way." Since the official Disney press site has released additional episode titles, we now have Seek the and a word starting with the letter K. Like I've been saying, I know other episode titles were leaked, but I try to only cover official news here, so until Disney officially puts something out, I won't be discussing those. In terms of what I think will follow, I think it's either Key or King. As we know, the Key is very important this season in getting Luz home, and as we saw in Echoes of the Past, King and his backstory will be important as well. Once Disney officially announces more episode titles though, we should have a bit more to go off of. But we also have our symbol message. From last season, we have 2 witches torn apart, now alone, 2 hearts of stone, a curse of feathers and mud, a betrayal of blood. As of right now, we have Seething, Seas, and Puppet. The symbols for this episode are found in the Forbidden Stacks section. Decoded, it says strings, which I think most of us were expecting. So we now have Seething, Seas, and Puppet strings. Like last week, the question is, who is the puppet? Is it referring to Bellows and the Titan, where one is using the other? Is it referring to our group of heroes and they are falling into someone's trap? Or is it referring to the doppelganger shown at the end of last episode? Definitely a lot of possibilities, and we'll probably have to hold off a bit longer before we have anything more concrete. So with the messages and codes out of the way, let's get into the relevant plot, lore, and world building for this episode. Since this episode was nicely divided into 2 plots, I'll go over Gus's plot first with the Glandis kids. To start off, there was a pixie issue at Hexside. I guess that's a real problem there, since this was also an issue in Really Small Problems, but Gus accidentally hurt Willow by his illusions, provoking the pixies. We see that Gus has a Bad Girl Coven shirt in his room and also convinced King to help him record a message for his crystal ball. King has both horns here, so this is post Echoes of the Past. I just like seeing little things like this in the show of the group hanging out outside of episodes. Gus can also control his illusions from far distances since he was able to send Get Well Soon illusions to Willow, although they haven't been as helpful as Gus would have hoped. So Gus, feeling a bit down, questions whether he should start learning other types of magic. And the sign he is looking for seems to appear right on cue, with the Glandis kids taking down a Slither Beast. And man, that thing must have traveled a distance from the knee down to Bonesborough. Now Braxis is also in this scene, and his dad might actually be Warden Wrath, because if you look in the credits, he is listed in this episode. But here we meet Bria, Gavin, and Agmar, with the addition of Mattholomule, who gets the nickname Maddie and is also revealed has an older brother. But the Glandis kids are looking for Galder stones, which are powerful relics that boost magic power. After some convincing from Luz, Gus joins in on the expedition. Also based on the conversation, it seems like illusion magic isn't that highly regarded. So it seems that there are certain tracks that are seen as more desirable than others, which was hinted at first in I Was a Teenage Abomination, with Willow being in the Abomination track because it had better opportunities. We also find out that the Looking Glass ruins are located in the Forearm Forest. Also, if you didn't know, Looking Glass is another name for a mirror, so even just based on the name, we got a hint of it being related to illusions. And I'm honestly kind of upset that the group of Glandis kids end up being jerks, because look at how sweet Angmar is here. Now Gus is able to impress the group through the glyphs by using a fireball to clear the path and a plant glyph to save Matt. We also learn that Glandis is far more competitive and cutthroat than Hexside, where the strong pick on the weak. And though Bria states she has good intentions to change things for the better, yeah, that's bullshit. Especially with the following scene of Bria threatening Agmar in a very passive-aggressive way, who I feel would love catching butterflies with Alador, by the way. And props to Felicia Day, who voiced Bria, because the strained voice crack is just so perfect in seeing that facade nearly break. But once inside the ruins, Gus discovers that it's actually a gravesite for illusionists, including Mari the Phantom Bringer, Aleth the Vision Creator, and Kari the Mirage Maker. Fun fact, Aleth and Kari are actually Easter eggs for crew member prop designers Kari Cephas and Aleth Romanios, and Mari is for color designer Mari Alizor. But the Glandis kids don't seem to think grave robbing is a bad thing, even though it's literally a crime. Now, good boy Gus stands up to Bria in not wanting to steal and is also able to discover that the Guardian of the Ruins is just an illusion created by the Keeper of the Looking Glass Graveyard. He was tasked with watching over the stones since illusionists don't gain any powers from them, so they are the least likely to use them for selfish intentions. Probably. Now, the Glandis kids aren't that intimidated by two illusionists, so they restrain them while they take the rest of the Galder stones. But I really like this scene between Gus and Matt. As much of a jerk that Matt can be at times, he's still got morals. He even references the events from Something Ventured, Someone Framed, when Gus saved him from detention and how it changed his outlook on illusion magic. And then we get Gus being a powerhouse and creating an amazingly horrific illusion to scare Bria away. This whole scene is awesome and definitely is leaning into the show's horror elements, which I hope we continue to see. But with the Glandis kids gone, Matt helps repair the statues, kind of, and also offers to help fortify the graveyard on weekends. So Matt is really turning around as a character, and I also like that he and Gus aren't necessarily sure if they are friends, but at the very least they are heading in the right direction. So with the Gus plot out of the way, let's get into the other plot of Luz and Amity. First off, I love the implication that Luz borrows Gus's library card often to visit Amity, as he was totally expecting that's what Luz wanted. And also that Luz admits that she's been pretty bad at hiding her crush, which is just so cute. But Luz is also a good and supportive friend to Gus in providing him glyphs and encouraging him to try new things. Once at the library though, Luz does some research on the history of humans on the Boiling Isles. Shout out to this shot of Ida terrorizing people with paddle balls. But there is also an article titled Box of Human Literature Washes Up on Shore, and it has what appears to be Good Witch Azura books, so maybe this is how they ended up on the Isles, probably through a leak like Gwen mentioned last episode. There is also the Planet of Humans flops at box office article, and then the most important one, human resident Phillip Wittebane donates personal diary to local library. But we'll go into this a bit more in depth later on towards the end of this episode. In the meantime though, we get Luz and Amity acting super cute. Also, I'm starting to wonder, since Amity was going to change her hair, if the crew is like, fine, we'll show you what she looks like with her hair down before she gets her new look. But just look at how cute she is and how much Luz is crushing on her. And then we even get Edric and Emera this episode. And I also like the implication here that Luz has picked Amity up from the library before. Also, Edric has a date with someone. I know Dana mentioned in the AMA that he and Emera will have plenty of distractions in season 2, so I'm wondering if this will have more significance. But I also love how Ed and Em pick up on Luz and Amity crushing on each other, and Bolt, even they think these two would be cute together. Moving on with the diary of Phillip Wittebane though. From Luz's research, she estimates that he was on the Isles in the 1600s, which dates back even further than I had thought. Anything that old would be located in the Forbidden Stacks, a section that is only for Malthus, the Master Librarian. He was also the one who gave Amity her job and her hideout. With this news, Luz thinks that she'll have to find another way, and what she says roughly translates to "don't worry, everything will be fine." But Amity still wants to help, even if there is a chance that she is risking her job, which shows how much she cares about Luz. And can I just say how awesome the Forbidden Stacks section is? I'm a bit bummed we didn't get to spend more time here, and we probably won't be coming back, but the overall look and atmosphere of this place is amazing, especially in contrast with the rest of the library. We also discovered that this cloaked individual from the trailer is Malthus, though as we see later, isn't as intimidating as he looks. However, Amity believes if they get caught, they'll be fed to the bookworms, which Luz can only assume is some terrifying monster. But But these two are just so adorable, Luz offering to show Amity around the human world and then Amity being like, nothing is going to stop me from getting that date. Now, as we continue through the library, they enter the donation section from the dead Wardian era during the 1600s. Luz is able to locate the diary, but unfortunately, upon finding an echo mouse that ate the pages within, Luz blows their cover and gets Amity fired. I'll get into this scene a bit more later, but I feel as heartbreaking as this scene is, it's also one of the strongest between these two. And what Luz says here is nothing will work unless I make it work, and goes back into the library to get Amity's job back. This includes categorizing man-eating bugs and taming a paper dragon. And fun fact, this episode was written by Molly Knox Ostertag, who was on an episode of Drawfee and mentioned the following.
So have you created monsters for your campaigns?
Yeah, they're cool, not funny. I think the coolest one I made was this library guardian. That was a dragon made out of paper. Like the library had sort of come alive and it wanted to consume like new stories.
So a really fun little Easter egg there. Now before we actually see Luz, I really like the scene with Amity and Emira. Considering Lost in Language showed a very strained relationship between the two, it's nice seeing them be sisterly. And I'll also talk more in depth about Amity changing her hairstyle as well later on. But this brings us to our big lore drop. Amity reveals that the Echo Mouse can actually play back literature it eats. Phillip states that his journey in the demon realm is far from over, but donated his journal. The first entry was supposedly written on May 21st, where Phillip describes the Boiling Isles and hopes to harness its strange powers to return home. And this entry marks his first documentation of him trying to build a portal to do so. Now the animation and art style for this projection is gorgeous, so huge props to Dana and the crew for that. And I'm guessing that his other journal entries are there as well, it just only played the first one, so maybe we'll be seeing more scenes like this in the future as Luz goes through them. Something that I want to note is that the portal door shown is very similar to Ida's portal, so maybe it is in fact the same one. After all, Ida did say last episode that her portal door was very old. And if Phillip was experimenting with doors in the 1600s, I think that qualifies. This also makes me wonder if the human really is Belos. Phillip has an accent like Belos, so maybe. Plus the hair is kinda similar to Belos in Dana's promo art. We also know that Dana said witches can alter their age, so it's not completely out of the question for Belos still being alive. But this will probably be another video entirely. And then of course we get the big scene of Amity giving Luz a kiss on the cheek. Honestly, I was not expecting to get this so soon, but I couldn't be happier to be wrong. It's so funny that Disney every few years comes on, they're like, hey, this is our first openly gay character. Meanwhile, we have these two who are explicitly LGBT. And I also feel like we're kind of in uncharted territory in a way, because we have never really seen a developing relationship like this in shows aimed at a younger audience. Like, we're only on episode 5 of the second season and we got a cheek kiss, so it's only going to develop more from there. Usually anything like this is saved for the last episode of a series, but now we'll actually get to explore where Luz and Amity's relationship goes from here. So with that, we'll segue into character development for this episode. We'll start with Gus and Matt first. I definitely thought this was a good episode for Gus, stronger than his previous episode, Something Ventured, Someone Framed. Mostly because we have moved away from Gus being a human appreciator, not that that's a bad thing, but now we get to see Gus develop as a character beyond just that. We see him questioning his skills, which is really interesting because like he said in this episode, he skipped 2 grades. So it's easy to assume that he'd be very confident in his abilities, but specifically after the Pixie incident, he's not confident at all. So seeing the Glandis kids take down that Slither beast and offer him a spot to join in their quest, it's a good opportunity to test some new skills. And he does a good job with using glyph magic, using a fire glyph and a plant glyph. So it's not like Gus is bad at magic, he just feels like he's not up to par with others because of his illusions, which is hard to see because Gus is clearly talented. I also like that he at no point feels tempted to go along with the Glandis kids in their plan. It could have been the peer pressure plot, but instead it's Gus standing up against Bria without hesitation. The peer pressure plot honestly would fit better with Matt in this episode, and even that's stretching it, since he didn't even seem to be enjoying his time with the Glandis kids and wanted to help Gus out. Like I said before, noting the time Gus saved him from detention and made him change his mind about illusions. And Gus coming up with a plan to use his illusions to get the Glandus kids out of the graveyard was perfect for him in seeing that illusions aren't worthless and that he is incredibly talented. I also just love the dynamic between Gus and Matt. These two were rivals before, but now we actually see the two forming a friendship. They aren't entirely sure where they stand, and that's okay. Similar to Amity and Luz, it's okay for things to take a bit of time in forming a friendship. So all in all, a great episode for Gus and Matt. But this brings us to Luz and Amity. First, I'll talk about Ed and Em really quick because I liked them a lot in this episode. It's just nice to see them as supportive siblings, picking up on Luz and Amity's crush on each other and trying to set them up, or Amity and Emera talking in her room while brushing her hair. Like, the fact we're getting a girl openly talking about her crush on another girl while her sister brushes her hair isn't something I expected to see anytime soon. Also, the fact that Emera helped Amity with her new haircut is so sweet, and her and Ed both wanting to see if Amity confessed to Luz is equally so. Speaking of the latter two, although this episode was split with Gus, I still think these two had a lot of development and their scenes together progressed nicely. Like I said before, the fact that Luz is continually using Gus's library card to visit Amity, and that Ed and Em implied that she has picked Amity up from the library before is sweet. But seriously, just look at the way Luz looks at Amity. And these two being awkward and flustered messes around each other is just so perfect. Like, they're 14. They're both young and feeling things that they probably haven't felt before, so of course they're going to be awkward. When they get to the door of the Forbidden Stack section, I like that even though Amity is risking her job, she still wants to help Luz without hesitation. As Amity even says later on in this episode, Luz makes her do stupid things she doesn't really understand, and it's because she cares about Luz so much. Once they are in the Forbidden Stack section, the two of them are just super cute, especially the scene talking about visiting the human world. Luz says it kind of offhandedly and even suggests turning back, and Amity is like, hell nah, I want that date. When we get to the scene after Amity is fired, I honestly think this is one of their best scenes together. Props to Nikki and May here for their performances, but when Amity says that she does stupid things because of Luz and wishes she didn't, you can see the hurt it causes her. Of course, Luz is gonna try and play it off by smiling and making a joke saying that she does stupid things too, but you know that this cut deep. Especially considering that Luz didn't have any friends back at home, this coming from Amity, who she also has a crush on, is just a twist of the knife. I do also want to point out that Amity losing her job is incredibly upsetting for her because it's the one place that she felt happy, at least before Luz came along. That's where she'd read to the kids and had her hideout, and now that's gone, so she's obviously going to be upset. But Luz being Luz wants to make things right and gets Amity's job back, not only as an apology, but also just showing how far she's willing to go for Amity. With the scene between Amity and Emera, I love the line that Em says regarding how the confusing feelings Amity has aren't bad because she wasn't happy before she had them. And she's right, the girl probably hasn't been happy since Willow was her friend, so she's long overdue for a little bit of happiness in her life. And this is what leads her to getting a new haircut and dyeing it a new color. And this is big character development wise because she isn't doing what will make her mom happy, but just doing something she wants that will make her happy. I do love the new style and color, but damn, I do miss the green because that was a look too. Also, Luz blushing at the new hair was so cute and sweet. And of course, we get the Luz and Amity kiss. I do love just how unexpected it was, like Amity didn't have this planned out, it just kind of naturally happened, and I definitely prefer that over some thought out date. I think stuff like this has more impact when it just happens in the moment, because then you get the realization from Luz that Amity likes her back and the embarrassment of Amity realizing what she just did. The farewell forever line is perfect and her questioning what the hell she just did is equally so. Plus Luz dropping to the ground in disbelief that the girl that she likes her back. Just this whole scene is perfect and everything I could have hoped for. And like I said before, we got a cheek kiss at the 5th episode in season 2, so we'll only see things grow between Luz and Amity from here on out, which is so exciting. Dana and crew, I hope you are all incredibly proud of this episode because it's going to mean a lot to so many people.
Honestly, you guys have just been knocking it out of the park every episode this season, and this one is no different. You guys are constantly pushing the boundaries of animated content aimed at kids. Honestly, part of me can't believe what I'm watching because it doesn't feel real. But that makes me all the more appreciative of all the work you guys do and has me feeling so incredibly lucky that I'm able to experience this. So thank you. And I know myself and other viewers cannot wait to see what else you guys have in store. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time, guys, take care.